Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Lebanon Board of Park Commissioners. I'd like to call the meeting to order and let the records show that all members are present. First item on the agenda is election of officers for 2026. So I'd open the floor to any motions for officers. We have president, vice president, and secretary.
I move that we retain the officers we have for another year.
Okay, we have a motion to retain the officers that we have. Do I have a second to that or any other nominations?
Second.
I have a second to that. Okay. So that would be Lori Gross as president, Diane Scott as vice president, and Jessica Lawler as secretary. Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. If everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes from the December 3rd meeting, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes from the.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Next item on the agenda is old business, and we have Kevin Krulik with project updates.
Good evening. Happy New Year. Project updates for you this evening. Everything's still going on, but obviously we're in that time of year where things have slowed down a bit. Some general project updates, just maybe you'd be interested in. We are working still with our team at ESG on a citywide lighting project that will include lighting around everywhere in the city. They're taking us through a process whereby they're analyzing available GIS data, looking at existing lighting systems, crime statistics, crash statistics, and basically trying to use that data to tell us where we need lights the most. And we'll use those reports to help execute that citywide lighting, which will also include potential additional lighting in and around the park systems, although most of our parks are pretty well lit. But so be looking for that. We should be wrapping up the report in the first quarter here and looking for construction next summer. So you'll start to see a lot more lights going up around the city. The Witt Road project is continuing, which also includes some additional new trails. Essentially where we're at right now, we're buying right-of-way. 11 parcels have been secured and payments have been made, and those have been recorded. We've got about 36 total parcels to acquire, though. So 32 total parcels. So we've got a little bit more work to do there, but we're gearing up towards a project bidding in the summer, in early July. The Noble Street project, obviously, that has some trail implications and entrances into the park, as well as connections between Hot Pond and the dog park and others, and the Big Four Trail. That continues along. Basically, we're still in the middle of the design phase at this point. Nothing really new to update you there. Let's jump into new, actually park-specific projects. I guess the first project to update you on would be the Old Street Garage. We're going through that RFP queue process. The RFP queue was issued, and our Q&A period closed on Monday. I'll probably go through the rest of the project updates, and we can jump back to give you an update on what Q&A we received and where things stand there. But additional projects on the Old Street Garage site, demolition is scheduled to begin starting next week. All the utility services have now been terminated, so we'll start to see the vertical structures, the buildings, come down next week. We'll then work on a response to the Q&A on the BOT RFPQ. And that Q&A response is scheduled to go out middle of next week. And then formal final responses are not due back till the 30th. So at your next meeting in February, we'll have some presentation for you on the responses that we received. Pickleball courts, just one quick update. The gate at the Memorial Park courts has been installed. That was installed just before Christmas on the 19th. So, I'm sorry, the 22nd. So everything is complete as far as pickleball court projects are concerned. The Admiral Longley Park perimeter path, also a project that will include additional lighting that we're going to add to that project. I mentioned lighting at the beginning of this. Some of those lighting projects will include the Admiral Longley Park perimeter path. But pre-construction meetings have been held, and really we kind of had an early winter in December, or the contractor was probably going to get started early. But as of right now, everything's just too wet. And I know it's a little warmer right now, but that just makes it for a sloppy mess. So we'll probably look till spring, but we'll keep you posted if the contractor gives us any notice that they're planning to start work any earlier. The storage building project is really the next project to really get kicked off. Everything is in order. Contracts have now been executed, and the contractor is scheduled to be on site towards the rest of this week to begin sort of laying out projects and getting ready to start demolition next week. We've been working with the Parks Department. There was a request to increase the size of some of the overhead doors. So we've already got a proposal from the contractor to do that, to make sure that can accommodate some of their larger equipment and the ability to accommodate larger equipment in the future. Midland Trail, the next regional trail corridor, we are working on that at a high level. Primarily Derek Warren in our office, I know most of you know him, has been working with Zionsville and Whitestown, as well as the Friends of Boone County Trails, and working on planning that next trail project, as well as some of the acquisition from the Friends of Boone County Trails for some of the right-of-way that they have secured. With that, sometimes I get a lot of questions about LEAP district projects. So these really aren't park-related projects, although a lot of them have trails. I did want to give you a quick update there on some new work you'll see happening on the west side of town. County Road 350 West from the north side of the Domino Meta facility. So basically from 200 North up to US 52. We'll look for pavement repairs to start later this month and full depth pavement reconstruction in the spring. Similar scope of project on County Road 200 North from 350 West to 500 West, some pavement reconstruction there. Those roads really aren't being widened or any additional improvements added, but County Road 200 West is a brand new road that will include significant pathway infrastructure, and that will be constructed to a 4-lane cross-section extending from State Road 32 all the way up to US 52. So we'll have a major north-south, west side sort of bypass, if you will, along the west side of the interstate. So that's really all I have for all the projects updates. If you have any questions, we can go over those in more detail, or I can jump into the potential addenda for the West Side Park and the Q&A we've received. Okay. So we received only one team submitted questions, which is not unheard of that we wouldn't see a lot of questions. But we did get one set of questions from the team at Meyer Najum, which is one of the general contractors that we know has shown interest in the project and looking to hopefully be successful in winning that project. So they submitted a number of questions. Let's see. The first question was really about the schedule. The RFPQ that we put out showed completion by the end of next year, or the end of this year, excuse me, next year when it was published in 2025. And they wanted to know if there was flexibility in that schedule. They also had some just general questions about the permitting stages of the project and if they would be required to negotiate any IDEM approvals or permits. So our response is basically, while the city understands that the schedule that we put forward is aggressive, we are flexible there, but we do want the project to be completed expeditiously, and we will work with the winning contracting team to figure out exactly what project schedule would be established. Regarding the IDEM question, it's kind of a two-part question here. We have already completed phase 1 and phase 2 assessments. We're waiting on our comfort letter, which is the letter that basically says everything we've proposed is acceptable to IDEM. We were expecting to have that by now. Our consultants have had a number of round of comments on that. So we're expecting the issuance of that comfort letter any day now, and our consultants are actively working with IDEM to figure out when that is going to be issued. My guess is there's just been some delay associated with the holidays. But that should be complete. So there won't be any IDEM permits related to the contractor's responsibility, but they will have to adhere to the permits that we have. Let's see, question 2 was kind of in the same vein, asking if they should anticipate undercutting of soils based on those phase 1, 2, and 2 reports and the soil management plan. And they also wanted to know if the cost estimates that were provided did not include any lime or cement stabilization. And so they were just asking if that should be included. So again, our response to them was essentially that soil management and staying in compliance with all those IDEM requirements will be their responsibility. We expect a comfort letter any day now, and we expect it well before we would finish the scoping period and enter into any contracts. And essentially, we said that the lime stabilization and cement stabilization, if needed, would be up to them, and that would have to be part of their guaranteed max price cost estimate that they would provide to us before we went to contract. Question 3, and you guys will have copies of all this, so I'm just trying to summarize and take you through this. There was a question about general conditions. General conditions is kind of what contractors charge you to do their job. So the question was if we had any specific requirements regarding general conditions. Same thing on if there was any stipulation related to staffing. So essentially we said that they're responsible for demonstrating to us everything that is in and included or not included in their general conditions, and reiterating the fact that the project is to be turnkey and that everything should be included in the general conditions and the contract as defined by the work, the schedule, and through the scoping period. And then, we were not stipulating any employment requirements from the contractor other than the typical standard public infrastructure requirements, and that they would be responsible for. The question was kind of also two-part about schedule, that they would be responsible for properly staffing the project to adhere to the schedule that we would agree to. Let's see. Next question was really about development documents and how far construction documents had to be taken in order to establish cost. So there's a standardized term of construction documents and then design development documents. Typically, design development documents are more like 60% complete construction documents. And so we just reiterated the fact that we would like to see design development documents complete before we would finalize the scoping period. We also reiterated the fact that we would not be paying for the development of those design development documents, that would need to be rolled into the overall guaranteed max price. Next question, question 5. The city has its own environmental consultant, V3, that we've used on the project, and they wanted to know what their responsibility would be as it pertained to environmental consulting. And basically our response is, and this is one of the great things about the BOT delivery method, is that we said that we would require them to contract with V3 for any additional environmental consulting that would be required as part of those IDEM permits that they will be executing. Let's see. Their last question was, would the remediation and removal of contaminated soils be covered by the city under a separate contract? And basically we said, again, your project needs to be all-inclusive, and that will be part of your scoping period to determine if there are any contaminated soils that would need to be removed, and that would need to be included in your contract prior as part of the scoping period. And then some additional clarifications that we're going to make. And to be honest, this point of the draft response was added after I believe we distributed this Q&A memo to you. So I will get you a new one here. But we are stating a couple of design intents that we want to be clear. One is that the city has long been looking at this group called Hunger Skate Parks as really the gold standard in the Midwest of skate park construction, and that they would be considered a preferred provider, not necessarily required that they be on their team, but they are a preferred provider, and we want to see whoever is designing and building the skate park, that they would have a similar level of expertise and experience that Hunger Skate Parks does. The other item is related to splash park, spray pad improvements. And this one, we're a little more forceful here. We've had a good relationship. The Parks Department has had a good relationship with the Spear Corporation. And so we want to mandate that whoever the winning BOT team is, that they incorporate Spear into their team to deliver the splash pad as well as the equipment that Spear provides. I should note that Spear is formerly Spear. They were recently acquired by a company named Landmark Aquatic. So you might see that name come up. But it's my understanding that the entire Spear Corporation was acquired by Landmark, who is an equally reputable splash pad pool equipment supplier. So that's really the nature of the first addendum memo that we're planning to issue. We're required to issue it on the 14th. And those are the only questions that we've received, and those are our general answers. Again, I'll give you a final copy of this as we wrap it up in the next couple of days. And then those additional clarifications regarding the suppliers that we want to work with. Any questions?
Do we know what IDEM's going to require? Maybe you've told me.
Yeah, we do. Essentially, well, we're waiting for that final approval.
Right.
But we've been working with them through the phase 1 process, through the phase 2 process, through the development of our approved soil management plan. And basically, there's nothing so contaminated on the site that requires removal and disposal. But there are some contaminated soils, most likely after years of street garage activity, and prior to that, it was triangle asphalt. There's some oil and gas that has been spilled on the ground at times. Not significant. The only real requirements from IDEM that we put into that is that area where, and there are isolated areas, it's not over the entire site. Those isolated areas, which are more near the front, will need to be covered. The soil can't be left exposed. But that's been part of the concept plan, is to put things like the parking lot and the skate park over the top of that contaminated area. So that will be the built-in cover that we have to build. If there's any material that has to be removed as part of the soil management plan, it has to go to a designated landfill that can receive those types of soils. Other than that, the only other restriction is you can't put any groundwater wells, but you're not allowed to put groundwater wells in the city limits where there is existing water infrastructure available. So that's not really a problem.
So if they run into anything during the construction phase that has to be removed, it's going to be up to
the contractor. Yeah.
Okay.
And we would have them, that would be part of that due diligence scoping period that we call it, where they would need to come on site. They would probably need to do some other additional geotechnical investigations, because we want them to make, certain guarantees that they have those things covered and that those removals, disposals are included in that guaranteed max price. Is there a possibility they find something that no one anticipated? There always is, but we want them to do their diligence and hopefully eliminate that risk.
That'll all be outlined in the letter you get from IDEM and
Yes.
outlined with the contractor. then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Anything else?
In there with, because you said flexibility on time frame of getting it done, which yes, I agree, there should be some.
Yeah,
Will there be a hard line?
absolutely. There will
'Cause
be.
projects like that, within neighborhoods like that, dragging on.
Absolutely. No one wants that. We put in there our anticipated schedule for it to be substantially complete by the end of November, and then final completion by the end of the year. And we've had one contractor say that's a bit aggressive. In their letter, I don't think I read that part of it. They said they feel as though that February, the end of February is a more reasonable completion deadline. So again, basically, we'll say through this scoping period, we will define a schedule that we can all agree to, and that will be written into the contract. So when we go to contract with whoever the winning BOT team is, they will have a contract that says this is the price and this is the schedule that they have to deliver. And we can build into there things like liquidated damages for delays.
Any other questions for Kevin?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is new business. Do we have, we don't have it, okay. So the next item on the agenda would be the director's report.
Good evening and Happy New Year also. Maintenance has been busy with safety training, also some training up at Lafayette, at Purdue for the grounds. Several snow and ice episodes we've had over the last month, and lots of preparation for the Christmas in the cabin and Christmas parade. Mostly safety precautions. We did something different this year where we shut down all the streets. I think we've come to that now. I want to thank the police and fire for sitting in with those meetings and DPW for all their help. But yeah, I think it was a much safer, when it's at dark, it's not like the 4th of July, but we shut down all the alley streets and want to thank everybody. I thought it was a very safe parade. Downtown, when you pull in there too, there's thousands down there, and it's I appreciate the Heart of Lebanon holding the crowds back with us and all that. And Kevin flipping switches over there so the lights go down and the Christmas tree gets lit, which happened this year, by the way. High winds kept us busy with some trees and branches that have fallen down throughout our parks. Our crew's been busy with winter maintenance inside on those really cold days, other than out when they're working on the ice episodes. And along with trying to keep Christmas lights going with all the winds and all the difficult heavy rains that we had some issues this year, but hopefully this is just once in a lifetime. Many employees saved their PTO, their paid time off, to spend with their families over the holidays. So we had kind of skeleton crews throughout from Christmas through New Year's. Everybody's back now. Since they've returned, we worked on removing all and storing all the Christmas. You can see all the decorations are down now. And we actually were out mowing today. So getting those leaves, I know. And no, it's just the leaves, if they lay on the ground a lot, they'll damage. And we've spent so much time on maintaining our looks of our parks that it's just important to maintain them. And the guys really like getting out, to be honest. And they were downtown, cleaning up downtown, sweeping. Instead of shovels, they had brooms and blowers. So it was really nice, but we'll finish that up tomorrow, probably before all the rains come in. But it was a late leaf drop this year. So yeah, we don't want any, we just want it to look nice. Over Christmas break, Thomas Ingalls in the office there held a lifeguard recertification class for several employees, and they all did well and are recertified. So we're happy to have them return for the 2026 season. With the warmer weather, we've been working on that fall cleanup. Also working on cutting back the Big Four trail and the brush down the Big Four. By the way, the Big Four will be shut at the trailhead on Sam Ralston starting Monday. Utilities has some work that they need to do, so that trailhead will be shut down starting Monday, which we will put it on all our social media that we can throughout the city and the parks. They will, they're working on a lift station down the trail, and they have to tear up some of that. They will repair it. They'll probably put gravel in. It should take about a week. I talked to Jason Summerfield from BF&S today, and also Ryan Ottinger this evening. They assured me that it shouldn't take more than a week. And they're going to repair and then possibly do some asphalt work and maybe turn out with a better product than what we have at that parking lot currently. So I really like the work they do. And anyway, that's starting Monday, and we will announce it. Program and events, our Christmas events went very well this year. Christmas in the Cabin was well attended, and everyone enjoyed their carriage rides. And of course, Santa and Mrs. Claus were busy with visitors. Hope everyone enjoyed the hot chocolate and those fresh cookies that we had. The Christmas parade was our biggest one yet, with over 40 floats. Appreciate everyone's patience and cooperation with the traffic and making sure the parade was safe as possible. And we look forward to next year. A lot of work went into that safety. We had several safety meetings, and I sure do appreciate how safe it is and everybody's concern and patience. Boone County Extension Homemakers hosted their Wreaths Across America event on December 13th. That's that big snow day that we had, and they put wreaths all around the War Memorial, held a little ceremony. It was pretty quick, though, but I appreciate all the work that they've done. We announced our 2026 blanket fort contest, and submissions must be sent to the park's website there by this coming Monday, January 12th, or drop it off at the office. The park staff will vote on the winner come Monday, and they'll receive a prize. We are now hiring for Seashore Water Park this summer. Applications can be found on our website at seashorewaterpark.org. And please bring a completed application to one of our open interviews. The dates are January 14th from 3:30 to 6:30 and February 14th from 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. There will be, those will be held in the park office in front of the Seashore Water Park. Applicants must be 15 years old. And there again, our pool parties have been filling up. I think half the season's already filled. And it's hard to believe January and 30 degrees out. But yes, if you want a pool party, you better get in there and reserve your time. We do ask for 50% down on that, but I think that's required. Anyway, any questions? That's what we had. Okay, thank you.
Just going to ask, are you here for something this evening? Okay. Okay, no problem.
We want to be sure we weren't missing something.
Yeah. If everyone's had a chance to look at the claim, I'd entertain a motion to approve the claim.
I move that we approve the claims as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. If there's nothing else to come before the board tonight, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Thank you for joining us this evening.